Alrighty, everybody, this should be a quick little playthrough of the story. Um, it's not going to involve many of the side quests, if any of them at all, because if I do play them, it will be in my own time, and I'm not going to have you guys sit through millions of hours of gameplay just so I can play them. This story will entail how to build a Juggernaut tank, as well as the DPS side of that. Um, When I do describe both of them, I will leave a link in the description below. And yeah, so let's just get this started and have an awesome, fun time of me derping and, playing a game. This is not my first character. This is um, my 7th. So I've been playing for a while. As you can see below, I have all the buffs for all the classes. So I've been playing for a little while. This game is really fun, in my opinion. Some people played it from about a couple years ago and immediately left because they thought it wasn't going to be as interesting, but they've fixed a lot, and I'll explain that as we go along, with all the changes that have been made and all of that kind of awesome and amazing stuff right there. So as far as that goes, it's gonna be a fun time, and I just hope that you guys enjoy it. All right, here we go.
At last, you've arrived. Good, good. There is much to do, and every moment is critical. I'm Overseer Tremel. For decades, I've administered the trials that prove who is and is not worthy to join the Sith Order. The trials are a chance to weed out the weak. Those who face them either survive and become Sith, or die.
I think I'll take the first option.
I didn't bring you here for levity. Yes, you are here and ahead of schedule because of me. I expect you to obey. You face your trials, you serve me, and I will make you the most powerful acolyte here.
You had better be able to deliver that, Tremel.
Leave your doubt at the door. There's no room for it in here, and no time to waste. The trials themselves are difficult enough, but they are hardly the greatest threat you face. There's an acolyte here named Benring. He's your enemy, and he will try to kill you. We must prepare you.
Let him try. I'll destroy him.
With my guidance, someday you'll destroy all your enemies. That practice sword you've arrived with is insufficient. The blade of lesser acolytes. You need a dominating weapon. In the tomb of a Junta Paul, there's an old armory. A strong Sith warblade awaits you there. The tomb is thick with claw slugs. Deadly savage creatures. Be speedy but careful. They've been the end of many an acolyte.
If they lack the instinct to avoid me, I'll feed them their heads.
Once you acquire the warblade, I suggest you spend some time in the tomb bloodying it. Then come to me in my chambers in the academy.
Woohoo! So if you guys haven't figured it out yet, we're currently an acolyte, which is the precursor to being a Sith Lord, or an apprentice, as the ranking system would go. You start off as an acolyte, you become an apprentice, And then you become and then the next promotion is Lord, and then you've got Darth, and then if you're lucky enough, you get to be on the Dark Council. And then there's other rankings too, which are a little bit higher, which require you working with the Emperor himself. So that's a fun time, and now you guys don't need to worry about that stuff. That's just how long I've been playing the game. That's all the legacy stuff I get. I mean, look at it. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. I mean, I would believe so. I just get some of my old titles back. And then everything else I just pretty much throw away, except for this, which you'll find out what that is later. I already have like 1 million of everything else, and so I don't really care about keeping it. So give me one moment while I delete all of this extra baloney. I will keep a couple sets of that armor because I'll explain why I saved it later when I actually use it, and I don't want to trade that to you. Get out of my way. Let's see. If you're wondering why my cursor is moving way above the rest of the screen, instead of actually seeing what I am clicking on, it is because I have a 4K monitor on the device that I'm streaming / recording from. So because of this, whenever I stream or record, it automatically, what you're seeing right here, where my mouse is, it's reading at 400 and at 4,000 pixels or 4K, and so that's why you're not seeing it. It can go like that's right there is as far as it can go on my end on the OBS. Like you're seeing as like where my mouse is right now is the edge of my game monitor, and so that's what you're seeing is where my monitor actually ends. I don't know why this does this, and I have tried fixing it about 100 times, and so I just can't. I just can't the only way I could possibly do it is if I restarted the recording and fixed it, which would kind of cut it in half and make more work for me. So I'll do that next time, and we'll see. And we'll see if that worked, and if it doesn't, then I just don't know. We'll just find out. But these are core slugs right here, is what he was talking about. They're actually, for me, who's fought them 100 times, they're not exactly the hardest thing in the world. They're really weak. They're like your rats or slugs or cows in other games. They're really easy to just deal with on their own. So I normally just go straight to the tomb, because right now. The reason why I'm doing this, even though I already have a Juggernaut, is because a friend of mine who also does Let's Plays said I would be good at it since this is my favorite game. And I would be able to give a more in-depth review / information about builds and all that sorts of stuff. And so that's what I'm going to do. Are these little triangles that you'll see on above people's heads, so like on that commander over there. And this little blue flowy thing, those are all quests that you could pick up. They will only appear when you're the level appropriate. So like, it's always fun to revisit areas sometimes. It's like on this planet, there's nothing for endgame content, so don't come back here trying to find stuff you won't. It's just for some stuff you have to be a high enough level, and so you have to end up backtracking if you're interested in trying to look, which is fine. I'm going to try my best to show you some of the raids and stuff, the endgame content, which I probably will not do on this character. But as far as PvP goes, I'll show all 3 tiers, such as the lower level, which is levels 10 through 29, sorry, geez, English. Needed to cooperate with me, but didn't. And then on top of that, you have your middle tier, which is levels 30 to 59. The middle tier will go from 30 to whatever the level cap is what BioWare said they were going to keep it that way, but I have a feeling that they're actually going to have to change it and make a 4th tier, and they're probably going to stop it at 50. The middle tier is probably going to stop at 55, and then the 4th tier will probably be from like 56 to 64 whenever the level cap increases again. At least that's the way I'm hoping, because the power level between 60 to 59, I mean, even it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just a thing in its own. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking because in here there's a little cutscene thing. Yeah, so let's do that. Sweet. Okay, we got the Warblade, which I will probably replace very, very soon, as you'll find out. Very first weapon that you get, pretty awesome, right? It's nice black, it glows red. What else could you want in a blade? It's good for beating people up with. I mean, I like beating people up. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy beating people up. Your inventory does not start this big. You'll normally start with just to like this right here to this line up. Like, or I mean, it's right here. Sorry, from this line up, and you can't even see what I'm talking about. So like, with my mouse, you see that middle darker line? Like, if you were to cut my inventory in half, like that's a little bit less than half. Like that's what you start with at the beginning of the game. I have it expanded because I bought it with credits in game, so that's where I got that. There's a lot of cool stuff, which I'll explain later. I'm not going to bore everybody. Let's just continue the story. Alright, so that was a bonus mission. I literally could have just ran out the door, and the quest would have ended. I mean, I would have lost the ability to do the bonus, but I did it just cause. But as you'll notice, crap, what was I gonna say? You know what? I forgot. We'll just leave it there. All right, boom. Can't enter the phase anymore, just like I said. And now we go this way, because we gotta be one of them cool kids, you know? You can't be anything except a cool kid in this game. Alright? Alright, actually, I did remember what I was gonna say. Okay, so, you notice above where my character's health is, you'll see a little bar that goes up with every time I do a swing with my default saber. Alright, so things like this, of this nature, right here, that default thing that everybody gets, that actually builds my rage for this class. What rage does is it allows me to use another powerful move, which is what this big swing is. Like I'm swinging a baseball bat at your face. Like that's what that is. So that's what you're seeing. And I'm just going to keep running. I'm going to ignore everything and just keep going, because fighting all this is kind of annoying. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to ignore everything. Because fuck these guys, you know, they think they're cool, but they're actually not, okay? They're just not, okay? I mean, look at that. I mean, I'm already losing aggro to the core slugs. I'll lose aggro to this guy, whatever. I gotta hit that guy just because I want to. I've already lost aggro to the other guy. There's normally like 3 guys right there. Yep, okay. He's chasing me for a very long time, mister. Stop it. Can you leave me alone yet? Well, I'm leaving this. Wow, you chase for a very long time. Okay, there you go. Leave me alone, please. Alright. You won't be able to see a lot of the lettering. So, like, I bet you can't even read what that guy's thing says. I'll zoom in. Can you even see it? Is it still too small? It shrunk because I zoomed in. That's dumb. So you can't actually read it. It says Sentry. I have all my things turned on so that way I can just see who people are all the time. I have it turned on for friendly players and enemies. I don't really care about people's companions, so I leave that one turned off, but I leave all the other ones on. Because I like to know what I'm looking at. And if they're an actual, like, NPC. Like, these guys right here, not NPCs, I can walk right through them. I mean, well, regardless, you can walk through any NPC, but, like, you can just walk through anybody. It's really weird. Like, look, if I could chase that guy down, I would. But I can't, and I'm going the wrong way. I'm still going the wrong way. I don't know if I'm going to join a guild or not, because I would be kind of forced to go to meetings, and it'd be a whole bunch of extra baloney, and... Yeah, cutscene.
Hey there, Acolyte. Hold on a moment. Let me get a look at you. So you're Overseer Tremel's secret weapon. Impressive, to be sure. Afraid the old man waited too long to make his move, though. I'm Vemrin, and unlike you, I've fought and bled for everything I have. I demand respect. You don't want to make me angry, Vemrin. Believe it or not, I'm trying to keep you from getting killed. If Overseer Tremel had made his move a year ago when I first arrived, he might have had a chance. But now, too little, too late.
This is ridiculous, Vemrin. Let's just kill him and hide the body.
We're not on Balmorra anymore, Dolgus. There are rules, traditions. We'll leave the shortcuts to Overseer Tremel and his last pathetic hope here. I'm going to take what's yours, and then I'm going to kill you. You have no idea the enemy you're making. Coming, Dolgus?
Be right there, Vemrin. Listen to me, you useless priss. Acolytes aren't allowed to murder each other. But accidents happen. It isn't murder without witnesses. No more warnings. Vemrin's the alpha monster here. You go after Vemrin, you die.
Good. You've returned. You seem to be in one piece. Tell me, how do you like your new blade?
I hope it's thirsty. I plan on drowning it.
What are you doing, Father? I only just got my warblade and I've been here 6 months.
I have my reasons, Escala. And you will not breathe a word of this to anyone. Do you hear?
Yes. Yes, Father.
Acolyte, this is Escala, my daughter. She's one of the advanced students here. On her way to becoming Sith. If she minds herself.
I'll keep quiet about your new charge, Father. But I won't be there if whatever you're planning blows up in your face.
Don't mind her, she's just sore that I'm keeping secrets. She growls, but she's loyal. Now, I thought I heard Vemrin's voice in the adjacent chamber before you arrived. Did he make his move so soon?
Yeah, I hate him already. I look forward to ending his miserable existence.
If things go well, you will have that satisfaction someday. Still, I'd hoped we'd have more time. Vemrin's not the type to sniff around for too long before trying to take a bite. In a drive for sheer numbers, the criteria for Academy admittance has been relaxed. Now anyone with force sensitivity is allowed entrance. Vemrin is mixed blood, the invisible rot eating at the foundation of the Empire. He must not be allowed to advance.
So, you're an elitist snob.
You say that like it's a bad thing. It's the Sith way. Only the best, only the most pure, should be good enough. Unfortunately, Vemrin's caught the eye of Darth Barris, one of the most influential Sith Lords. He's being groomed to be Barris's new apprentice. As Darth Barris's apprentice, the power at Vemrin's fingertips will be considerable. He could change the Sith for the worse. You must proceed to your next trial immediately. I want you to interrogate 3 prisoners in the Academy jails and decide their fates. Consider each criminal's story carefully. The decisions you make will be scrutinized, so let your passions guide your judgments.
I will handle it.
Go to the Academy prison. Speak to head jailer Nash and return to me after you've passed judgment on the prisoners.
Woohoo! So times of experience, it's pretty sweet, I'd say. Actually, if you want to know, this is a cartel market. It's where you can buy things with like most MMOs will have like some sort of in-game currency. That's how much I have. For the sake of it, if I were to buy something, I would black out the screen while I'm recording because it actually shows your card information if you have it set to do in-game purchases, which I do. But luckily, I'm not doing that right now, so you guys can watch. This is the collections. It's a categorized system of everything you've ever purchased from the cartel market or anything you've ever worn the entire set of or owned or equipped, such as saber crystals, pistol crystals for weapons, which is pretty much, it's the same crystal. Vehicles, toys, pets, armors, weapons, everything. It pretty much just allows you to get what you need without having to repurchase it for the original price. And so, like, what I do is I go down. I'm actually gonna get a portable trainer, so that way you guys don't have to see me go back to a trainer every single time I want to increase my character's skills. Now, a lot of the stuff is such as getting gear and playing through other things will be done off screen, so you guys won't be seeing none of that. None of that will be a thing. So that's how that's gonna play out. Okay. Where? Oh, I passed it. Whoops. Super good already. All right. So toys, 42%. So I have a lot of stuff. These are like little side quest things you can do. These little cubes that you're seeing glow back and forth. I've only gotten 3 of them. I haven't gotten the other ones. I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't. I don't care about any of that. Yeah, I don't care about anything else. But pretty much it'll put it in my inventory. You only have to buy it once. And you'll have the option to unlock it with that character or everybody. And you just do the everybody, because you're literally just going to be wasting money out of your pocket if you play the game as much as I do and want to keep buying things. So it's just a lot easier to get it once than having to keep pay money. But I pretty much just trained all these abilities. I'm going to go down to here on the quick bar and read them to you. So I forgot to do that before we started. Let's walk outside the phase first so we can get the update. Okay, so Assault generates 2 rage and inflicts 49 to 63 weapon damage. That'll of course go up much higher. Same with all these abilities. Just completely ignore the damage. I'm just going to read what they do. With a series of quick melee attacks attacking, there's a subclass to this character called the Marauder. They're a little bit more difficult to learn, but that's because they keep getting their characters buffed and nerfed, and it's just flying around all over the place, and things keep getting changed. So it's it's a little wonky at the moment. But that's quite alright. It's quite alright. And then you have Vicious Slash. Slashes the target for 105 to 120 weapon damage. Attacks with both weapons, again, if you're dual wielding. Force Charge. Now, this is your basic Sith Warrior ability. It jumps to a distant target at the range of 10 to 30 meters, dealing damage with the main hand weapon, immobilizing the target for 2 seconds, and interrupting the target's current action. It builds 3 rage and cannot be used against targets in cover. What it means by targets in cover, if anybody is, say, if you're fighting against another player, which is a sniper or an NPC that's ducking behind something, you cannot directly leap to them. You have to walk to them or run to them. Smash smashes up to 8 enemies within 5 meters, dealing kinetic damage, stuns weak and standard enemies for 2 seconds. If I open up my character sheet like this, there's different kinds of damages. You've got your basic damage right here, and this is a neat way to tell what your main stat is for your gear. It'll automatically be higher than everything else except for your presence. Presence is a stat that you don't want to build. It'll just go up on its own. If you put it in a piece of gear, it's literally just wasting stats that you could be putting into something else. And then all presence does is increases the effectiveness of your companion. So if you're going to rely on your companion, and meaning you run a lot of stuff on your own, then yes, build your presence. But so I guess that's the only thing it's useful for, but I learned something new today, so I guess that means you guys learned something new today. Strength is my main stat, because it's the highest other stat other than endurance. Endurance is your health. Approximately 1 endurance is worth 10 health. And then strength increases your aptitude in melee combat. Aim increases your aptitude with ranged weapons. Cunning increases your aptitude with technological abilities. Willpower increases your aptitude with force powers, meaning if I were a class that were to use force abilities over melee abilities, what it would do is pretty much it would build in force powers rather than that. But anyway, what I mean by kinetic damage is it's anything that isn't direct. So like such as an ability that's an AoE, so like an area of effectiveness. So this is an AoE. If I had an immediate rage builder, I'd use it, but I don't. Saber Ward. Raises a lightsaber ward, increasing melee and rage defenses by 50% and absorbing 25% of the damage taken from force and tech attacks. And it lasts 12 seconds. Sweeping Slash slashes up to 8 enemies within 5 meters in front of you for weapon damage. Attacks with both weapons if dual wielding. I will show you what that looks like. I will show you what all these look like. Saber Ward, I don't really use it as much as I should at a low level. Mainly because its cooldown is pretty long. It's 3 minutes. And so I only use it when I really have to, but I'm not going to have to use it anytime soon. So I'm going to just use it now as a demonstration. That's what it looks like. It's a nice big red circle. It's very pretty, I know. It's not as pretty as me, though. I'm sorry, guys. I went to the wrong room. I'm super professional, guys. You don't have to worry about me.
One more chirp from you, little bird, and you'll regret it.
Chirp, chirp, chirp. Ow, jerk. If you don't like that, just say so. I can do other animals too. Dire cat, frog dog, quaking monkey lizard, you name it.
You, I'm Jailer Nash. I run these cells and slave pits. You're the acolyte Tremel sent for the test, right? He thinks highly of you.
Then I will repay his faith by sticking to my mission.
You should know this situation is highly unusual. Normally an acolyte goes off-world for the interrogation. Overseer Tremel had these 3 shipped in for you. He thinks you're the next coming of Exar Kun. but you ought to know, Tremel ain't the only one paying attention to you. Now, these 3 prisoners have been transferred here for your inspection. You gotta interrogate them as needed, and then decide their fate. The convicted are usually executed, or given a trial by combat to see if they're worthy. Whatever you decide, you will be the one to carry out the sentence.
I was hoping this would keep me entertained.
Fine. Let's get started. This one on the left.
You freaks aren't getting anything new out of me. Just do whatever you're gonna do.
I thought I was going to make this character a dark side character, but since I'm a Sith, that'd kind of be a given. So I want to show something a little different. Because in this character story, it actually has a huge impact with how it plays out. Of course, it's the story is the story, so I mean, it's still going to end where it ends, just like as it would if I were dark side, but it does change how the story flows. So I'm going to do that. And if you guys think I'm taking the cowardly way out, I've already done it multiple times on the dark side. So you really think I'm being a coward, then it's just being selfish, isn't it? Alright, so let's continue.
You can either talk to me or to the Inquisitors, and I promise, I have a much sunnier disposition.
Get lost. I've been through this routine. I already know all your Inquisitors by name.
Impudent to the last. As I was saying, she was sent to kill an Imperial spy in the Yavin system. Throughout her torture, she maintained that she was hired anonymously.
Get it through your damn head. I had no idea he was Imperial, and I don't know who hired me.
So you're telling me you're not a Republic assassin?
I'm not political. I work for whoever pays.
The point is, she doesn't deny the charge. So now you must decide. Execution or trial by combat. Which do you choose?
Neither, actually. She could prove useful. Send her to Imperial Intelligence.
I won't work for free.
Huh. You spared her. Interesting.
Please, I am a fellow Sith. Judge me with an open mind and grant me trial by combat, I beg you.
Your name, now.
This part of Waste is Davotech, once a valued Sith champion, until he botched an important mission and caused 1,000 Imperial deaths. Now look at him.
I served faithfully for 24 years. Then one mistake, and they threw me away. Now I have been left here to rot. Please, let me feel the weight of a weapon once more.
You're not worth the effort. Live on in shame.
Then I am misery. Languishing here is worse than death.
Huh. And I thought his disgrace had already hit rock bottom.
There are always new depths to discover. I bet he can sink even lower.
Well, this last prisoner's a bit of a puzzle. He's called Breg, and he's a jittery little wretch, suspected of supplying forged documents to Republic agents. Strangely enough, he maintains his innocence, despite being severely tortured.
Nebaga imana, naki naya, bila magnam unya kamna lebek.
Are you trying to tell me you've led a clean life?
Naki oya makmak. Nebaga imana, naki naya, bila magnam unya kamna lebek.
He's never wavered from that line, and the evidence is circumstantial. I suppose it's actually possible he didn't do it. So, what do you decide?
I think in this case we should release him. Let him go.
Mamni lebek bak manuk, meraka najaki namabamyak.
Freedom, huh? That's a new one. Well, that's that. You're an interesting one, kid. I can see why people are keeping tabs on you. Head back to Overseer Tremel. See what he thinks of your choices.
I've already played it, so I know he's not going to like the last one. Yeah. That's why it took me a couple seconds to click it. I'm like, well, I'm about to get yelled at. Because you'd actually be executed for being way too lenient, if you were to follow the actual story. I should probably read what all these buffs do. So Unnatural Might, which is the Sith Warrior buff. Unnatural Might, it lasts an hour. All buffs last an hour that are character available. Melee range, force, and tech bonus damage and healing is increased by 5%. Coordination, which is your Imperial Agent buff. Critical strike chance increased by 5%. Hunter's Boon is a bounty hunter buff. Endurance is increased by 5%, so when you're at max level, that's roughly 2,000 health. Mark of Power, strength, aim, willpower, and cunning is increased by 5%. Internal and elemental damage reduction increased by 10%. So internal damage is anything that's considered a dot, which is a damage over time. So it's pretty much something that you, unless you're a certain character or class, you can't remove internal damage. Eventually I will get a stun break, but it's only good for like every 45 seconds.
Is this everything? Then, so on you were. What now? Each step now.
It's folly to waste time tormenting an innocent man.
Innocent or not, he leaves here with first-hand knowledge of our facilities and procedures. It's potentially compromising to have him floating about the galaxy.
You must always be thinking and considering every angle. Aside from a strong and skilled sword arm, that will be what impresses Darth Barris the most. You're beginning to understand what it means to be Sith.
I'll try harder, Overseer, I promise.
If you don't, you're doomed. Remember that.
Because I forced you into the Academy ahead of schedule, Darth Barris will be predisposed to judging you severely. And by severely, I mean fatally.
Now, we must hurry to your next trial. Every moment that passes, we risk discovery before we're ready. In the caverns of Marka Ragnos is the beast he left to guard his legacy. Go there, sit among the flames, and wait for the beast to come for you.
Sounds like a good opportunity for violence.
Hold nothing back. This creature is doom itself. Return to the Valley of the Dark Lords and find the tomb of Marka Ragnos. I'll see you when the beast is slain. Good luck.
So I got another ability, my favorite ability. It's called Force Scream. Blast the target with a forced enhanced scream, dealing kinetic damage. In addition, standard and weak enemies are stunned for 4 seconds. So that's a really fun ability. You just kind of like lean forward and you see like like your hero utter a growl, and that's what that is. Every spec will have a certain form. This is Shito form. Increases damage dealt and damage reduction. It's meant for, I'll go when I actually get to use this. It's a combat proficiency thing, which is up here where you see my mouse doing its thing, you know, the little jiggle. But yeah, so it's there are 3 different forms. Not every class has 3 different things that they have to have on at all times. It's just if you want to know more about what the other classes do, I'll be doing probably all the Sith classes Let's Plays, but I'm probably not going to do the Republic because I'm not a big fan of the Republic. I think the stories are too simple and not really original enough. So yeah, that's how that part went. Wow, that was face backwards. It's weird. But yeah, so that's that. And I think I'm gonna end this episode here. I'm a big fan of longer episodes, only because it fits more in. I think I have no idea how long this is gonna be when I cut it, but I mean, this is the first try, first thing. You know, we're gonna see how it goes. But yeah, you guys have a nice